Hi guys, Tim again with Real Southern Exposure. Welcome to another episode. We're planning on doing today is we're going to end up finishing up this stacking rack that we have here. And I'm going to finish showing you exactly how I ended up making it. You might end up wanting one yourself one day. Anyway, so do me a favor. Grab yourself a glass of sweet tea, kick back, relax, and take in a little bit more Southern exposure. Okay, now that I got those welded on, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lift this thing up and I'm going to take it over here to the mill and see if we can't glue this thing to the other two that are over there and then put the backstop on. So let's do that now. Okay guys, so as you can see, I finally finished it. We ended up losing a lot of the footage from the build. However, I'm going to explain what I ended up doing right now. Sorry, I got the slab pile burning right now. So anyway, yeah. So this end right here was the first end that I fabricated. Okay, this set I-beam and this set I-beam, and then I put the cross members in. You've seen that. And then I ended up welding, sitting one on top of the other while it was laying down flat. I sat the other one on top of it and then used ratchet straps to cinch them together so I could end up taking and tacking them off where it needs to be, and then I finished welding it up. So that's how I ended up doing that. This one right here, I ended up taking this one and I welded the channels to it in where they needed to go, and then I brought that one over here and sat it in place and took and welded it to the center one. Now let me show you what I ended up doing after I got that tacked up. Okay, so after I ended up getting that one tacked up, what I ended up doing at that point was taking and sitting all three I-beams, sets of I-beams, on top of three of these 4x4 12s. And I ended up taking and doing that. I leveled out the 4x4 12s parallel and horizontally. I ended up leveling those out. I have those on 9 different piers and with shims and everything up underneath them, so that way they're perfectly in place. And then afterwards I drilled a hole through the I-beams and I ended up running some 3-inch screws from the I-beam into the 4x4, so that way those 4x4s wound up assisting in carrying the load, keeping everything straight, and then at the same time I ain't got to worry about the I-beams moving. Once I ended up getting that done with getting those 4x4s leveled out, I ended up taking and I popped a line going across right there at the uprights to take and see how far it was off. And this center beam right here was sitting that way, about that far, about 3.5 inches. So by taking ratchet straps from each corner down to the other side, and I pull this beam this way, and then I ended up taking these 2x4s on both sides of this beam, and I put those in there at an angle, 45-degree angle, and screwed those down to the 4x4s, and that'll keep this from shifting anymore. Okay, the next part is these 4x4 12s. I continued running them out towards the end, and then I ended up taking and running a 2x4 across on here, and that gave me my distance. This 2x4 is 1 foot away from this I-beam, and the reason for that I'll show you here in a minute. So by putting this 2x4 up there and bringing it out a foot, I ended up taking and cutting this 1.5 by 1.5 angle iron, 12 inches long, and I ended up cutting 5 of those. So there's 2 up there on top, and then 3, 1 on the outside on both sides, and 1 in the center. On there, I ended up taking and cutting a 2x4 and sticking it on there, running it across there on the top and the bottom and the middle, and that's how I ended up suspending the backrest on here that I can take and run the wood up against, so that way it's nice and straight. Okay, so as you can see, my sticker racks, I put the stickers in here, and I put them every 24 inches. Okay, so I'll bring the first one in about 6 inches, or 4 to 6 inches, and then every 24 inches down it, I'll end up putting in another sticker. So what I ended up doing was I marked on here with white spray paint where my stickers need to go, and then I put a band on each end, and then every 2 foot, or every 4 foot, excuse me. So that way all the packs look pretty symmetrical. So yeah, so that's what I do with that. Let me show you something else. A very nice thing about having this stacking rack is that I have 4 different positions I can take and stack from. The forks on the tractor can come in, easily pick them up and take them out of here with no problem, and it makes everything a lot more compact than having 4 different piles laying out on the ground. This is by far the easiest way to do it. I ended up taking and making this piece of 3-inch channel a little bit further in, and the reason for that is whenever I go to stick the lumber up here, this way I can just take and stand on the bottom one, and then it gives me enough vantage point to where I can go further in and move everything around how I need to. And this gives me an opportunity to be able to take and do this with the least amount of bending possible. And I got the sticker rack right here beside it. I can just take and pull the stickers out. Now, one of the questions I'm probably going to get is, what if you got longer stuff? Well, if you got longer stuff, this rack here works perfect for 12-foot material. So if you end up doing material that's 14, 16 foot, it's not a problem. It just sticks out further, and you're going to probably have to use your tape measure to find the stickers where the stickers need to go. But other than that, I mean, this is, to me, is perfect. This is 8-foot material up here. What I have been doing is putting 8 and 10-foot material up here, and all my 12, 14, and 16 down here on the bottom. And the only time I cut 14 foot and 10 foot is for special orders. Other than that, what I like to keep in stock is 8, 12s, and 16s. Other than that, I don't really mess with the rest. So yeah, so I keep 2x4 8s up here, 2x4 12s down there, and then 2x6 8s up there, 2x6 12s down there. And I'm probably going to end up making another one of these to go right there at an angle, and it'll just have 2 tiers on it. And what I'm going to end up doing with that one is, because it'll just have 2 tiers on it, I'll use that for like my 1x or something like that. 1x6s, 1x8s, 1x10s, stuff like that. So I hope this video has been educational. I hope you learned something from it. I hope that the stacking rack, I don't know, maybe it makes you want to do something roughly about the same. If you want, I can give you whatever dimensions I have, and you can take and manipulate them however you want to get whatever you want done. Anyway, so with that said, do me a favor and click that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned, because we got another video coming on Wednesday. I think we have our internet situation resolved, and hope you like it. God bless.